Another important page template which WordPress will recognize is the 404.php file. This is the template which is used when it doesn't recognize a URL. For example, up at the top here, if we add in something which it doesn't recognize, such as a random string of text, we take into a page which is not very useful to the user. In fact, this page template is the index.php. Since, as we already know, this is the default fallback template, we can go ahead and create our own custom 404 file, which will be used in place of this index.php. We can add some useful information to the user and also some links to get them back on track. As ever, inside of the sidebar, we can create this in the root of the project. This is called the 404.php. As a starter, I'm going to copy the code which is in the archive.php. Select all and copy. Then add this into our 404. Beginning with the comment at the top. This is the comment for displaying 404 pages. And now we can go ahead and clean up this page. So we still need the header, we still need the main container, the row, and this 8-column section. So now I'm going to remove everything inside of here. We can also remove the sidebar. We can remove the nav for the pagination. So let's remove all of the content inside of here. And tidy this up. So this is the closing element for our 8-column section. And then we have our closing row and container, followed by the footer at the bottom. Since we now have no sidebar, we can change this to be the full 12-column grid. So before we go ahead and modify this page, let's go over to the functions.php file, and we can add our header text for this file. I'm going to do this as a new else if section. So just before our else section, add else if. The condition which we want to test is if this is the 404 template. If it is, we're going to run the code inside of these braces. So let's use a underscore echo function, and then the text inside of here of whoops, we're a little lost. We can then output a break tag after this, add the HTML elements. So open this up, close this off. And then enclosed inside of here, we can add the text of let's get back on track. Semicolon at the end of this. And we can save this file and then go over to the browser, hit reload. And there's our custom function text now displaying. So we now have feedback to the user to let them know we're on an unrecognized page. But what can we do to get them back on track? Well, to do this, I'm going to add some widget areas to allow the user to find out where they want to be. Earlier in this section, we added widgets to our sidebar. Now I'm going to add some reusable widgets to our content area just below. First, we need to create some div elements to add these widgets to. I'm going to add one row with 4 equal sections inside. Back to our 404 template. Inside of here, we can add a div. Close this div off. And this is going to have a class of row. This row is going to be the wrapper for our 4 sections. So the div, again, close this one off. And this is going to be for our columns. So this one will have the class, which is going to be called MD3. In fact, we'll change this to be MD12. We can duplicate this to create 4 sections. And each one of these divs is going to be a wrapper for our widgets. We can use a function called the underscore widget. If we go over to Google, and we do a search for Codex, the widget, we have a function reference, which we can click on just here. So we see in the description here, this template tag is used to display a widget outside of a sidebar. So this is perfect for our use. Then if we scroll down to the parameters, we see a list of widgets and how we can use them. So in our template, we have access to widgets such as the archives, the calendar, any different pages or comments. We can add a search form, tags or menus. And these are similar to the ones we've seen in the sidebar section before. I've selected 4, which I'm going to use in this project, but of course you can choose 4 different ones if you prefer. So let's start by adding these into our div. Inside of here, this is PHP code. So we open this up. The function, as we've just seen, is called the underscore widget. And then we pass inside the name of the widget which we want to add. The first one I'm going to add is WP widget pages. Add this in as a string. Then we can add in the remaining 3. Let's just tie this up a little bit. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to copy this line of PHP. Add this in, and the second one I'm going to add is WP widget categories. The third one, this time it's going to be recent posts. And then finally, the last one, I'm going to add the tag cloud. And let's try this out over in the browser. Back to our project. Good, we have our pages in the first section. Let's try the contact us. That's working okay. We can try for categories. So this takes us to the offers template. The recent blog posts. Let's try number 6, and that's working fine. We can also do a search for a tag, and that is working fine too. You may also notice a title too when we click on the categories. So for example, if we go to news, we get the category of news selected, and also the same if we go to the tags. This is up at the top here. This is because this page is using the archive template, and if we go over to the archive.php, we added in a function called the archive title, so this all nicely fits in together. This is it now for our 404 page. Feel free to go a little bit further if you would like, but this is a good starting point for getting the user back on track.